Hello again, everybody. Zach Attack is here with the attack line for Wednesday, March 7th, 2012. I'm making this attack line a little earlier than I usually do today because, as you can tell, I'm in a Zach Attack gear, kicking up my new tool I call the Attack World Order, aka the AWO tool. I gotta get tonight DJing the Romeo High School varsity basketball game. Districts for the first time ever for basketball as they take on Utica Ford. That's why I'm making it a little early. Alright, let's kick things off with Billboard #1s. We have a still #1 album and 2 new #1 singles. Starting with Adele. Yes, Adele, once again, #1. Like I said last week, I'll say it again. What else is new? 23rd week of #1. Not consecutive. Most weeks since Purple Rain. 20 years, I said it last week. I think it was 22. I thought it was 23 last week, but it was 23 this week. But Adele may have a threat. Bruce Springsteen's her biggest threat. But now they're saying that Adele may sneak past Bruce Springsteen and retain her #1 position. So see who wins. The diva Adele or the boss, Bruce Springsteen. Now, #1 single. Speaking of singing divas, Kelly Clarkson. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. After 1 week back after kicking off Katy Perry, does not retain #1 this week. Instead, a steady climb for them after weeks of building and building after success from their Super Bowl ad and radio play. Funds, We Are Young are #1, being the first rock band to be the #1 single in 4 years since Coldplay, and the first rock band with the first mainstream release to go #1 since Nickelback in 2001 with How You Remind Me. Although, yes, Kelly got kicked off, big impressions from Kelly and Katy Perry, and also The Wanted. So, congrats to Fun. I heard of them because of Tap Tap Revenge. Tap Tap Revenge introduced me a lot of great music. I heard of Fun before this because they had a couple songs of my favorite iPod game, like I mentioned, Tap Tap Revenge. So now they're big with this We Are Young song. I kind of like it, but I want to dance remix for my shows. So, congrats to Fun with the new #1 pop single, Hot 100. We also have a brand new country #1 single, as Keith Urban's You're Gonna Fly gets kicked off by Kenny Chesney's Reality. His second #1 from his album Hemingway's Whiskey. Or was it the third? Yes, third #1. Boys and Falls #1, Saw Somewhere With You. Despite its success, You and Tequila has not been #1, but Reality is. Congrats to Kenny, congrats to Fun, and Adele, your #1 singles and albums this week on the Billboard charts. Now on to the biggest technological news of the day. Apple announcing, yes, the rumors were true, a new iPad. New and improved iPad. This is the first major thing they've done since the death of Steve Jobs. I think they did like the iPhone 4S like days before his death, but this came like way after his death. The new iPad, I'm calling it iPad 3. They didn't give it like an iPad 3 or 8. They just call it the new iPad. The new iPad is HD Retina like they use in the iPhone 4S. And finally, after they're late with everything. Apple's been late. They're late to multitasking. They're late with the cameras on the phone. And now they're finally getting 4G LTE technology on their iPad, which will be available for both AT&T and Verizon. Of course, you got to pay more with both Wi-Fi and LTE 4G. And I think it's also going to be, they also cut in the price of iPad 2. And a bigger screen. It looks the same though. It looks more like the iPad 2, but with better technology, longer battery life, HD screen, and 4G LTE. The new iPad will be released next Friday, March 16th. Tickets, I said tickets. Well, pre-orders go on sale today. So I bet you they're going to sell out quick. But I bet you they won't really sell until Christmas. But also they announced a brand new Apple TV today. A lot of new apps. So we'll see what happens. 4G LTE iPad. No specific name, like no iPad 3 name, no iPad HD, just iPad. So there you go. Now, I mentioned this in the beginning of the video, but I got a haircut yesterday. I got a haircut. That's why I didn't make an attack on yesterday, because I was out getting my haircut. So I got some news that was left over from yesterday, starting with a little bit of country news, starting with the Country Music Hall of Fame. Now, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you know, we can talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Shame when we want about how they not get certain people in, like the Purple still not in it, Judas Priest, Wash, Kiss, etc., etc. But in the Country Music Hall of Fame are getting that shit right. The main inductee this year is a guy who deserves it. He is, of course, probably, in my mind, the most successful, the biggest country artist of all time. Best-selling country artist ever. Not Shania Twain. And a guy who invented big stage productions for country music stars. Of course, I'm referring to the one and only Garth Brooks, going in this year to the Hall of Fame. He's been semi-retired. He does like a couple shows in the Wynn, Las Vegas. Of course, we all know his journey, starting in '89 with his self-titled album. Then No Fences came out with hits like The Thunder Rolls and Friends in Low Places. And then came Whoopin' the Wind, which became the first major country album to go #1 on the Billboard Hot 200 and the country charts. Success waned with the Chase album, but In Pieces became a big success with Combat Roots, Standing Outside the Fire, and many others. It Ain't Going Down, The Sun Comes Up. Late 90s minimal success, ending with the Scarecrow album after the old Chris Gaines thing. But despite that, Garth Brooks is one was beloved and most successful country artist, as I mentioned. Joining him this year are lesser-known people in the country world. Well, Connie Smith and August Pig Robbins. Connie Smith's a female vocalist that inspired a lot of people. And August Pig Robbins is a keyboardist who was blind since youth or whatever. But they're honored for their achievements in country music. I don't know, like 70s and 80s, like earlier than that, I don't know that much, besides like Atakline and Loretta Lynn. So there you go. Congrats to the current inductees of the Country Music Hall of Fame. I think they'll induct them later on this year. So congrats to them. Speaking of Country Music Hall of Fame and a woman that may be in the Hall of Fame, Carrie Underwood. A lot of news on her because she, like Garth Brooks, is a fellow Oklahoman. Now, 2 weeks ago, she released the first single to her upcoming album, Good Girl, on February 23rd. The new single's heating up the charts. But we didn't know until yesterday what the name of the new album was. We knew the release date May 1st, but the new title was revealed yesterday. It was Blown Away. Yep, first album was Some Hearts, Carnival Wine, Play On, and now Blown Away. The cover has Carrie Underwood in an Angelina Jolie type pose with a leg hanging out. So that's kind of weird. See that? But the album comes out May 1st. Blown Away. Good Girl's blowing the charts up. So good luck to Carrie in the new album. Should be good. Looking forward to finally some new Carrie. Now, on to another country news. Another big country star. Kind of a big one. Carrie's, of course, on Arista Nashville. Well, RCA now since Arista broke up. And also one of her fellow people in the RCA group, country artist Jerrod Niemann, Mr. Lover Lover. Barely escaped last night as his bus was on fire last night. He was apparently on the bus and they saw smoke. They thought it was a smoke alarm, but it turned out the bus exploded and Jerrod made it at the nick of time. No one was on the bus and no one was hurt during this bus explosion late last night. I think it was like somewhere in Tennessee, not Nashville, but I think Chattanooga, somewhere near Chattanooga. So, best wishes to Jerrod. I know I'm happy no one was hurt in this bus incident. So, hope everything goes for the best for Jerrod and his crew. But happy everyone was safe. Now, on the sports news, starting with football, big football guy, and there's been not that much of postseason action. We have seen a lot of releases. I didn't mention about this on previous attack about the release of Hines Ward from the Steelers. But that release wasn't shocking. Shocking was the release of Peyton Manning from the Indianapolis Colts. So a lot of rumors about Peyton being released, about him wanting more money, yada yada yada. But they let him go today at the Colts in a press conference where Peyton announced that Peyton has been released from his contract from the Colts. That means he's officially a free agent. I know Detroit probably don't need him. They got Stanford. So like many teams need him. So we'll see what happens with Peyton. He may be retired, but I don't think he is. But I'm not the biggest fan of him professionally. Personally, I like to put, but professionally, I root against him and his brother. If you've seen my shows, I root against Eli and Peyton every chance I get because they win everything. Especially Eli, who won the Super Bowl. So, Peyton's out of the Colts. Who knows who you're signed with. But despite my professional hatred towards him, I do wish him the best of luck. But we'll see who he signs with. Now, on to WWE news. A little bit of an update for you. I didn't mention this on the Atakline on Monday or Raw on Monday because it premiered after Raw. It was announced that John Cena Rock's little talk would turn into a musical concert. They're saying Cena's going to rap and Rock's going to do the Rock concert. The long-awaited Rock Concert 3. We want him sing. You know, I know we want to get him like the punch. We want some physical altercations, not verbal. Especially with Cena winning them all. You know, making Cena look good, making Rock look bad. You know, Rock was kind of funny, but Cena had more knockout punches than The Rock. You know, I'm just worried that Super Cena is going to beat The Rock in WrestleMania, especially in Miami. So, hopefully The Rock can strike with a great Rock concert and really kick the hell out of Cena. But it's his first Rock concert as a good guy. Last time it was a heel back in 2003 against Stone Cold and Goldberg. So we'll see what happens with Rock and Cena on Monday on Raw in Cleveland with them doing musical things. And hope Cena's rap doesn't suck. Isn't too PG for us. Now, there is no Modern Family Nights on repeats, but there is American Idol tonight. I mentioned I am going to have a gig tonight, so I'll probably miss a little American Idol. But to be honest with you, it's starting to fade away from me. I'm starting to drift away from American Idol. You know, the bullshit for the last 3 seasons, especially the finales. Adam losing to Chris, Allen, Lita Wise beating Crystal Power Sox, and James Durbin being eliminated, and having the Country Pumpkins, Scotty McCreery, and Lauren Elena being there, and a lot of shitty eliminations last season. That was like the last one for me. And I've been an AI fan since season 1. And I haven't watched that much this season. I'm starting to drift away from it. Like, I'm a music guy, but musical shows, especially like watching Glee a lot, it just, this tore me down. But to be perfectly honest, if I were to watch AI, I'm cheering on Phil Phillips. I'm glad he made the final 13. This is the first of the top 13. I just hope Phil Phillips does fine. And apparently tonight's theme, well, it's double. The guys will do Stevie Wonder songs. Girls will do Whitney Houston songs. So we'll see what happens with that. So we got DeAndre Brankins. I can't believe he got a wild card. I hope the guy fails. I saw his previous performance and he sucked. I hope the guy impresses people tonight. Then we got Shannon McCrane. We got that. The only people I kind of like is Phil Phillips and that country girl, Skylar Lane. That Stay With Me by Rod Stewart, that rocky country version. I kind of like that. But a couple others, like I said, I haven't watched that much Idol this year. So I guess I'm starting to drift from it. I'm still trying to cover it, but it's just hard to. Because my heart's not in it anymore as it once was. I think AI's finally went so. And also the too good. We need Simon back, man. Without Simon, it's just too good. Too feel good, but not for me. Too much sugar coated for me. So I can't take it. But we'll see what happens on AI tonight on Fox at 8. With that in mind, your mom been attacked for the news from Zach. That is it for the attack line for today. Thank you all very much for watching. See you all later. Have a great night. See you all later. Yeah.